So this is the biggest question I get, and today I'm going to answer it. When I meet with people like you thinking about moving to Pensacola, I always get, Christina, where would you live if you were me? Well, I can't answer that question because I'm not you, but I can tell you where I would live if I was doing this journey all over again. These are the 5 places I would strongly consider moving to, and I'm going to go through the pros and cons of each one. Starting with number 5, because that's fun and hopefully you'll stick around to the end to find out what number 1 is. So number 5, the Beulah Cantonment area. The reason I like this area so much, and I'm gonna specifically focus on Beulah, is it is close to I-10, it's close to everything. Here we are seeing a ton of new construction, and here is where you're gonna get a little bit bigger homes, a little bit more bang for your buck. Up here we have lots and lots of gated subdivisions, as well as areas that have community pools, community centers, and a lot of people that are moving from places where you have, 4,000 square feet homes, 5,000 square feet homes. We typically don't have a whole lot of really big homes like that in our area for the most part. But Beulah and Cantonment is where you're going to find that, if any. You can easily find homes that are 3,500 square feet, sometimes 4,000 square feet. And they're really, really nice. They're beautiful. They're beautifully done, and you're in neighborhoods that people really like. Nature Trail is one of those neighborhoods, and they have like a food truck party for each street. They have Facebook pages for each street, so they can get together and do book club, do mahjong, get together, have just ladies wine nights. So they have that in Nature Trail, and around there is Vintage Creek. You have Deer Run. You have lots and lots of neighborhoods up here, and they're just building more and more. And if this is something you're interested in, we can really get into the nitty gritty of the upcoming latest neighborhoods in that area if you're thinking about it. Another great thing about that area is great schools. A lot of people love it because great schools pretty much all around, from elementary, middle to high school. So people know if they live there, they're not going to have to worry about schools too much. A lot of people that live there, we're seeing families, a ton of families up there. A big hub up there is the Navy Federal Campus that employs, I think it's now up to like 15,000 or 20,000 people at that campus. A lot of people work hybrid, so it's not always crowded around there. Before COVID, whenever you were on Highway 90, which is really that main thoroughfare through Beulah, it was always jam-packed. But now that they have people working from home and some people in the office, it's not too bad anymore. Plus, they are widening that roadway. They're doing some transportation stuff there to make it so even if all those employees come back, it's not a big problem. But a lot of people up there typically either work at Navy Federal, or maybe they are some of our military members and they're commuting to NAS Pensacola, which is around 25 minutes away, or they work at just one of the many area workplaces, maybe one of the hospitals or downtown, and all that is around 25 minutes away. So that is what is so great about that area. Throughout all this, you've seen some example homes. So very, very pretty, cool spot. So number 5 on the list, the Beulah Cantonment area. And some people, when they see that word, they think it's cantonment. It's cantonment, just our way of saying it. Okay, number 4. Perdido Key. I love this area so much. If you're wanting island feel type of life, you are going to get that in Perdido Key. And kind of leading up to Perdido Key, there are tons of gated neighborhoods as well, and just beautiful neighborhoods. Some of the names of those neighborhoods is Emerald Shores, Chanterelle, Leeward, Heron's Forest. You're gonna just see tons of neighborhoods up Gulf Beach Highway as you're entering Perdido Key. And family neighborhoods, very, very close to the military base, which is a big reason why a lot of people wanna move there. Just being so close to the beach, you're honestly within 5 or 10 minutes. Perdido Key has lots and lots of areas, and when you're actually on the beach, that area is awesome, but a lot of people probably won't be able to afford it. Either you're gonna be in a condo, which isn't conducive for all people, and again, I'm talking about where I would live, and I have a family, and a condo is not really, what I need right now, maybe in 50 or 60 years, or probably even sooner than that, but it's not what I need right now, so I really want a home. So if you're living on the Key, and it's whenever you go over the Theo Bars Bridge is when you're on Perdido Key, those homes are really expensive. I mean, you're looking at about $1 million. So, but before you get to Perdido Key, all off of Gulf Beach Highway, you can find homes in the 300,000 starting, and then it does go, up to $1 million depending on what you're looking at. But tons and tons of neighborhoods. Also, Inner Rarity Point is right there, which is another just island feel. It's just a narrow strip of road that has homes of all ages. You have newer homes, you have older homes, big price ranges, anywhere from the 300s all the way up over $1 million if you're on the water. But there's tons of options out here. The other good thing, and this is going to be kind of all throughout on these areas I highlight, great schools. Amazing schools are out here, so that's one reason people want to live out here. You have great sports too. A lot of my friends, their kids are in the soccer out there, the travel soccer, so you have all that. Maybe the one downside at Perdido Key is sometimes people feel a little bit more isolated. Like once you're out there, you don't really want to come back to downtown or anything. And it's not the easiest drive in. It's a single lane road and you're just kind of like on it forever. It's just not the most fun drive or the most scenic drive. So a lot of times people in Perdido Key, they stay out there. They're like, this is my world. And out there you do have a Publix, you have a Winn-Dixie, you have the Jellyfish, which is one of my favorite restaurants. But you're not going to have your Target, you're not going to have the mall, the airport, is right in town. You're not going to have tons and tons of restaurants. But what I see a lot out in Perdido Key, people are grilling out. They're inviting their neighbors over. They're out fishing. They're going to the local Hub Stacy's, which is just a little neighborhood joint, and hanging out with their friends. So we see a lot of that more. So some of the biggest perks, again, being really close to the beach and as well being close to the Navy base. We see a lot of military families out here and a lot of retirees who used to be in the military and had great memories of Pensacola and want to move back. And so we see them saying, you know what, I really like that area. I love to go back. So Perdido Key, awesome. And if you want to get into the specifics of each neighborhood, if you're like, hey, I don't want any short-term rentals near me, there are plenty of neighborhoods that have this. You just need to know which ones. And all these areas I'm talking about, they have you within probably 7 minutes of the beach, which is amazing. I was talking to someone yesterday who had reached out about relocating, and I asked, what are you wanting? And they're like, well, we want to be close to the beach. So I asked them, what is your definition of close to the beach? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, would 40 minutes be too far? And they're like, yeah, I think it might. So that probably would eliminate Beulah or Cantonment for you because you're probably around 40 minutes from the beach. Perdido Key, though, you're within 10 minutes. So we were able to narrow that down because if you're moving to Florida, be by the beach. Because if you're 40 minutes away, it's just going to be way more of a hike to get out there and way more of a commitment versus being under 20 minutes. That's huge. You can pop on by anytime. Okay, number 3, the Cordova Park area. So when we say this, I'm just going to really be referring to an entire area. Some of it is more like East Pensacola Heights, but I'm just going to call it the Cordova Park area. So this area is right by the mall, right by the airport, and really runs off of Bayou Boulevard. I really like this area because it's close to everything. It's close to downtown, it's close to the Pensacola Beach, it's close to the airport, it's close to like all your doctor's appointments. This area is awesome. Some drawbacks though, some of the homes are a little older, so you're gonna see a lot of homes built in the 1960s, 1970s. So some of them are redone and they're pricey because they're redone and beautiful. The original homes, it means you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do some work to make it look how you want. If you are able to find a newer home that's move-in ready and ready to go, there's a price tag to it. So that makes, a little tough. You're also just typically seeing a little bit smaller homes, maybe between like 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. If you're needing like a 3,000 square foot home, that's gonna be kind of tough to find there. There are different neighborhoods around there that you can find it. Inverness is one of them. And again, this is, if anyone from Pensacola is watching this, I'm just kind of referring to the entire area by the mall. Just call it Cordova Park, which is the easiest because a lot of people just go, okay, I know Cordova Park. But you have Inverness, you have other neighborhoods all throughout there that are really, really nice and you can get some big, beautiful homes, but of course you're paying for it. The great thing about this area is for elementary schools, you're either gonna be zoned AK Suter or Cordova Park. Both of those are A-rated schools, so a lot of people wanna be there. This is an area where you're seeing tons of parks all the time and kids riding their bikes, going around. So that is really, really fun. And the Halloweens out there are amazing. Like people are on golf carts, crazy decorations. It's super fun. Even some homes giving out full-size candy bars. So Cordova Park is awesome, and you're right by the school if you're in the heart of it. But then we're just kind of talking around that entire Bayou area where you do go to that AK Suitor schools for some. And I hope I'm not getting too over your head, but if you've been watching enough videos, maybe you're starting to realize, okay, here's the schools I want, and this is what I'm thinking about. But that whole area is awesome, and it's just proximity. For me, a lot of my friends live there. So that's really fun, being able to just go and knock on their door and say, hey, let's have coffee, or let's be at the bus stop together. So that's a huge reason. And a lot of people stay here for a really long time. Their parents still live there. They've moved into the neighborhood. So they're going to stay there. So we don't see a ton of turnover. In this area, if things turn over, if it is good and it's priced well and it's pretty, it moves really fast. If it's more original, or if it's overpriced, or just a really funky floor plan, it's gonna sit. So the types of homes you probably want, they go pretty fast. But it's just, so many people wanna be there because of how close it is to everything. As far as like main stuff in Pensacola, you're within 10 minutes of everything. So Cordova Park, that area, DM me or send me a message anytime or call the number, and we can talk to you more about this if it's confusing about where the location is. Number 2. East Hill. East Hill is such a gem of Pensacola. Here you are going to find the most character. You're going to find homes that some of them are built in the 1900s, like actually 1900. You're going to find homes that have so many nooks and crannies. You're going to go, what did they use this for? My favorite thing is sometimes in these homes you find a telephone nook where people would put their telephone and just sit there and talk to their sweetie abroad, or talk to their, long distance boyfriend. That's what I imagine when I walk into these homes. Here you are going to see lots of sidewalks. You're going to see tons and tons of parks. This is an area where people are constantly riding their bikes, using their golf carts, and gorgeous. One of the downsides is it is not automatically zoned for an A-rated school. So a lot of people that live in East Hill, they're either doing private school or they're doing school choice, where they are applying to get into a school they want. And if there's enough capacity and if the algorithm works right, you get in. I don't know the rhyme or reason behind it, but when we did this, we were living in downtown Pensacola, and we did school choice, and we got into AK Suitor, which is a really good school. Almost all my friends that have done school choice have gotten to a school that they're very, very happy with. So it does work, but we just can't promise it works every time. And I do know that the military, they have a preference on this, so they do put them at the top, I believe, of the list. So East Hill, you're gonna find cute mom and pop stores. You do have your Publix right there. This is an area where people have signs in their yard saying, I love East Hill. There's constantly little markets and things pop-up markets, being like, oh, we're gonna do a vendor day. We're gonna do a little farmer's market here. It kind of is right there, on east of downtown, and there's a park that centers it called Bayview Park, and it's right on the water, and they have tennis courts, they have a playground, they have walking paths, and they often do events there, like Bands on the Bayou, where they bring in free live entertainment, and you can bring a picnic and do Bands on the Bayou. So you'll see things like this in East Hill happening all the time. The location of East Hill is also ideal. It's very, very close to the interstate. It's close to downtown, 5 minutes. It's probably 10, 12 minutes from the beach, Pensacola Beach. So that's a reason people really, really like living here. Some of the cons though are it's older homes, so you're gonna be looking at higher insurance, and just things you're like, okay, wow, okay, now I'm learning about cloth wiring. Knob and tube, what is that? Fortunately, we know all those things because we sell these homes all the time. A lot of these homes are off grade, so you will have, a little crawl space. So whenever we do our inspections, sometimes we have to find a really, really small man or woman. But usually, like when we're checking for termites or any wood rot, they have to get under the house. So sometimes that crawl space is really tiny, so they just have to eke under there to check it out. But fortunately, we know small inspectors. We know big inspectors, we know all of them. So we're able to get them out there for you to make sure that your home is in good tip-top condition. And if those crazy high insurance rates are coming back, we have tools and connections with different vendors to go, all right, if we add hurricane shutters, what does that bring it down to? If we add hurricane clips, what does that bring it down to? To the roof. If we redo the wiring here, if we do this to the windows, what can we do? And the challenge there is really trying to update it in a nice way without losing the charm. And people that do that in East Hill, they win. Their homes always sell for top dollar. I just recently sold one. It was close to Bayview Park. It was around 3,000 square feet, and we sold it just under $1 million. But they had a beautiful yard. They had a lot going on. Earlier this year, though, I sold another home that was a little further from the park, about 2,000 square feet for about $600,000. So we'll often see things in like the 250 to 300 a square foot range here, but every now and again you see things lower. I helped some friends just recently. They are on 12th and they got a home for $320,000, and it is cute as can be. It's in a great area, so you can find all different price ranges here. But it's a really fun area. This is an area where there's no HOAs or anything. It's just the street. So you could have someone renting an Airbnb next to you. And if that's what you don't want, I always tell people this is probably when you do want to be in an HOA. But yeah, East Hill is just beautiful streets, lots of trees, lots of parks, lots of all types of people want to live there. You know, young, old, families, not families. This is a place that just everyone wants to live. So number 2, East Hill. Okay, our final one, Gulf Breeze coming in at number 1. All my friends want to move out here. A big reason is the schools. The schools are killer. They're A schools. Everyone's known that for years. So a conversation I hear all the time, especially when I'm helping people buy homes. Okay, yeah, my kids are young right now. We're going to be, in Cordova Park, or we're going to be here, but we really want to get to Gulf Breeze by the time they're in middle or high school. Gulf Breeze is just an amazing area. So where is it? It is just a narrow stretch between Pensacola and Navarre. And then you have Pensacola Beach to the south of it. A great reason people like to be here is because of its location. It is so close to the beach, 5 minutes. It is also very close to downtown for anyone working there. For any of our military members, they can get to any of the bases relatively quickly. It's really centrally located. We also have a lot of infrastructure here. We have Lowe's, we have Walmart, we have a bunch of Publixes, we have restaurants, and we have a ton of sports for the kids. We have the rec center, which is in Gulf Breeze proper, and that is where you're gonna see kids playing flag football, cheerleading. If you've seen the movie like Friday Night Lights, it looks that way every single night. Just tons of kids running around doing sports, and it's a hub there. You have pickleball courts, you have tennis courts, you have a playground, you have a splash pad, and that is an area where we just see a lot of activity. Let me first explain a little bit about Gulf Breeze to you. So there's 2 parts of Gulf Breeze. There's Gulf Breeze proper, which is the area right when you get off the 3 Mile Bridge, and that pretty much goes until the National Seashore. So this is the area that is closest to downtown Pensacola. This area, it has older homes. It is the priciest homes out of Gulf Breeze by far because of its location. You do have waterfront homes, but I mean, sometimes these are between $3 and $5 million. And then you do have plenty of homes just in proper. And I was looking the other day, and I think the cheapest one I could find was $470,000. And it was around 1,500 square feet, and it needed some work. Because the land here, usually most lots are at least $200,000 to $250,000. So Gulf Breeze proper is just, it's very expensive, but is very centrally located. I keep talking about golf carts. It's weird. This area loves some golf carts. So Gulf Breeze is a golf cart community, and they have signs everywhere about what's a legal golf cart, what's not, but you'll see golf carts all the time. People with like an 8-seater, they bring the whole fam, even the dog, and they're going down the streets in their golf cart, just getting around that way. That is their main mode of transportation in Gulf Breeze proper. Seriously. I think if you live in Gulf Breeze proper, most people either have a golf cart or they have plans to get one. It's fun to get around that way. There's tons of great neighborhoods here, and I can go more into the details of each one based on your price point. And you can find some that, are a little bit more exclusive and on the water, and this has kind of an East Hill feel. Gulf Breeze proper and East Hill, with all the trees, with parks, with people on golf carts, you have a similar vibe here. But the big reason maybe people leave East Hill to go to Gulf Breeze is because of the schools and the sports, just being a little bit closer for their kids. So that's Gulf Breeze proper. And then after the National Seashore, from the National Seashore until Navarre, it's an area we call DTH, down the highway. So it's down the highway from proper. And what you see here is tons and tons of great neighborhoods. We had clients the other day saying, you know, I don't want to be near Airbnbs. Tons of neighborhoods here like this, Grand Point, Tiger Point, tons and tons that I can name where you can live. But there's other areas, if you do want it as an investment, you could do so. You'd have to go through the proper protocols and everything. But down the highway, you have the Tiger Point Recreation Park, which is also a great mecca for sports, lots to do. If you need to get to Milton, you are near the Garcon Point Bridge. And most of this, I mean, again, just very, very close. So if you are down the highway, you're about 10 minutes from Pensacola Beach. If you're a little bit further down, you're closer to Navarre Beach. But this is a great area, yeah, just with the schools, you can get beautiful homes. I think that this checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. If you're moving to Florida, you probably want to be near the beach, so check. You also want to be near airports because you're probably gonna have a lot of friends visiting you. Check. And I love downtown. Downtown is awesome. So being close to downtown, being able to enjoy all the festivals, the gallery nights, all the restaurants, and Gulf Breeze checks a lot of those boxes, plus having the great schools and just the kids' sports. Just a lot of people really love it. I just helped some clients that have 2 children move from East Hill to Gulf Breeze. And I was asking the kids like, hey, like, how are you feeling about this? And they're like, we love it. We can ride our bikes in a cul-de-sac. And they absolutely love it. And they're so happy they moved. East Hill was so great for them, and they probably could have lived there for years and years and years, but their life changed. And you know, if you're doing some of these travel sports, you don't want to be driving your child 40 minutes to get there and back for practice 3 or 4 times a week. So living closer to that action really, really helps. But yeah, Gulf Breeze is my #1 because I think it checks a lot of boxes of Florida lifestyle, of Pensacola as a whole. You get that suburb community feel, but yet you're super close to downtown. You're close to the airport. You're even close to Destin or 30A if you want to take a weekend trip over there or even a day trip over there. And you have that coastal feel and a community feel. All right, guys, which one was your favorite? What is matching your vibe? And honestly, I just went over 5 areas. There are so many other awesome, awesome areas, and that is the fun part about living here. You could pick any place on the map, and I can tell you why it is so, so great. Just really depends on what you are looking for. The areas I went over, none of them really sit on much acreage. If you're wanting more acreage or more space from your neighbors, we've got those areas too. We have so many awesome places, and that's why you need to call me and my team. We love talking about this. We geek out on it. We are obsessed with Pensacola and the areas around it. So let us know so we can find the best fit for you and help you move to Pensacola.